Hello, we're here again. And yeah, last night there was a skip. Welcome to being human. Too much going on, and I didn't get here. Would have been cool if I could have, but didn't happen. So we move on. Enough of that. You know, sometimes it's interesting because that led to me thinking of a piece of wisdom I hadn't thought of for a while. And as you know, I've walked you through, the forgiveness process, a little bit of it. Let's have a little bit more. And this one helps you let go of things that get stuck in a loop that you can't let go of, that you can't seem to forgive yourself for, that you can't release. And it works this way. We forgive every aspect, affect, effect. We forgive every aspect, affect, effect. We forgive every aspect, affect, effect. Let it rest. I'm running all day, so it doesn't take long to get going. Hmm. And that feels good. You should give it a go. Especially you got something going loopy, loopy, loopy in your head. It'll help. Let's move into the story. It's getting interesting again. More stuff happening. They're getting ready for a journey. It's going to happen in the morning. But there are some things that are going to happen before that. We left them at a place where they were figuring out things and getting ready to go and get the blessing from the sages. And in the meantime, there's dust on the horizon and things are coming. I'm not sure what it meant for the lawmakers to set this as a sanctum and a sanctuary. Didn't know if the lawmakers would defend it or if it was just a question of they authorized it. People had seen the lawmakers defend things. When they first arrived, especially, there was a lot of loss of life. Took a while to learn the rules. This is one of them. This is one that was set forward that if they set a sanctum and a sanctuary, it's not to be attacked. What do they mean by that? I guess we're about to find out. And everyone that could got on the walls as the dust clouds got closer. And then they found out what the lawmakers meant by a sanctuary and a sanctum. About 35 feet, the first tanks, yes, tanks, and other things looking like ordnance of some sort were coming to crack the wall. They never got past 25 feet. They stopped and then ceased to exist. No boom, no explosion, just gone. Those in them were sitting on the ground naked. I imagine that's not a cool way to be in the middle of the desert. But the armed forces behind them, the men without machines, well, they continued forward. It was a hard-fought battle, and there were a few fatalities, things to be mourned later. Why the lawmakers only stopped the machinery is one of those things that if you ever get a chance and you ever wish to, you might want to ask them. We lost three, and we buried three, and they were free. Harassed, we fixed up. He knew there was going to be fatalities, but it wasn't a nice experience. And the scent of blood brought out those other two beasts that have been hiding. We had to get rid of them too. At least more stones for the sages. The rest of the night was exactly that. Cleaving up and getting the stones out, getting anything that they would wish to have as sages, including some of the meat. And it was all packed away in the lady's bag. Before the sun cracked the dawn, they were off. Her on her tricycle and the prince on a floating orb. Yes, a floating orb. That's what she said too. Is this a normal form of transport? He goes, well, my dad blew up my car. He said, so this will do. And so they talked a little bit, but not much. And by noon, they were at the sages, who weren't very talkative, until they said they had stones from the beasts, and meat, and horns, and teeth, and tails. And then the shield went down, and the sage offered them in. It was an interesting thing to see sages of this level who really didn't care about the normal things going on in the world, you could tell. But they were willing to give boons for really good material and stones that they could use for their craft. And they were astounded at how much that lady and the prince had brought. The prince was a shrewd negotiator. And at the end of it, they did have the blessing of the sages to have a sanctum and a sanctuary. And they did get the protection stone. They still owed on it, but they got it. More beasts to be hunted, more stones to be sent through a portal that they were given. The portal would close permanently when the payment was complete. One of the sages came to them and said, can I come with you? They don't usually wish to go anywhere but stay in their towers. And then he explained, he said, I'm a young sage. He said, I've come to my age and I'm required to set a tower and I'd love to set it in a city of sanctuary. I do not feel like these. I do not feel apart from the world. I feel everything the world feels, and the world feels horrible. So they agree that he can come and set a tower, and that he said he will help defend. And to their surprise, two others also wish to come with him, and they'll help run the tower. A young woman and another young man. And the sages just look at them and said, I thought you would go with those that are like this. What a waste to teach you all that I've taught you. And the three looked at him and said, we will raise the tower and we will show you the truth. Let's leave it there. Let's go to a blessing. We come to this space of blessing, and we wish it to be exactly that, a blessing. A blessing painted, architect, and designed by God. That's the blessing. We, of course, wish joy and peace and hope and abundance and creativity and imagination. But that's what we wish. What God is going to draw, design, and build for you is going to be an incredible. According to His will, according to His wish, according to your will and wish, this can be so. We come before you, Father, Spirit, Son, and we just are thankful, grateful, and full of gratitude for all sanctuaries that you give us, all sanctums where we are safe. Ultimately, we are always safe if we know we are safe. Yet the world sometimes feels very unsafe, so that you would wrap them in that safety as you build a relationship with them. Maybe the first conversation, maybe the 20th conversation, that you're building a relationship, and you always will be. You always look after us, always care for us. You'll heap grace and mercy on us and give us courage and strength for the battles to come, and lift us up every time we wish to be lifted. Show us how to fight. Show us how to accept the victory already given, and move us into thriving and an existence that only you can paint. We thank you for it. And we say thankful, grateful, gratitude, thankful, grateful, gratitude, thankful, grateful, gratitude, standing in awe and honor, respect, allowing all glory to flow, the Father, Spirit, Son. This is, and so this is. Amen. So when you rest, rest well. When you wake, wake well. And know that your path is lit by God. Blessings.